So, continuing with this racial topic, as in my last video, I mean, I'm white noise. Obviously, there will be some racial topics, and it needs to be talked about anyway, is what I feel. And there's no way to do it perfect, which is a hard pill to swallow for me, but I ought to, well, again, continue sharing my perspective and clarify shit, because there's always a lot of room for misinterpretation, and also I'm still, learning. I'm not here to try to act like I got it all figured out, but I might talk because it makes it easier. I just talk as if that is the truth, because I see it as the truth, but I really don't know for sure. All right. So yeah, I feel like one thing should clarify is what I was talking about in last video, like when it comes to this whole topic of black and white, nothing in this world is black and white, but when it comes to this topic, it's legit to, use those terms, I guess. And yeah, so when it comes to white people having being used by these negatively oriented beings to implement these oppressive systems in this world to put more melanated people in disadvantage, especially here in Africa. I'm saying here in Africa because I'm currently in South Africa, and so so many. Africa is like the richest continent, but why aren't these nations rich? Well, because the resources are being taken and stolen, basically. And one could say, yeah, it's because of the leaders, they're sellouts, but yeah, the leaders, for the most part, they are weak individuals. They allow themselves to be bribed or whatever. They're sellouts. They sell their country's resources to, these Western countries. But even if they were to stand up, like some have done, they're being done away with. That's how it is, because these and no one understands what's going on, because many do, but the majority do not, because they believe the media, which these negatively oriented beings are in charge of. So yeah, but it's not like okay. So this is the thing: these negatively oriented beings, they live basically off the same source as everyone else. Everything comes from the same source, the all, God, cosmos, but they don't have any, they are shadow beings, you could say, and they don't have any base of existence themselves. Like, we are being charged here through the sun. Even us less melanated people, we need the sun to sustain ourselves, and this whole planet is very dependent on the sun. And like I said, a sun is a white hole projecting from the infinite possibilities of dark matter into a certain reality. And here we are with our pupils, black dots, we're absorbing it, and which creates an actual experience. And these negatively oriented beings, they need that same source. They just need to convert it first from that pure positivity of the sun being absorbed by the consciousness here, mainly mankind, and more so the more melanated people, especially than black people here in Africa, absorbing the sun, and then having struggles and feeling certain things, not living ideal human lives. A lot of harsh emotions and whatnot is going on, and so then that primordial positive force projected from the sun, they absorb, and it's being converted into, negative force, life force. or I avoid the word energy because I don't like it. It's too vague. It's like, and people within the spiritual community use it too much. So I avoid that word. But sometimes it's unavoidable. Yeah, convert the positive life force into negative energy. Yeah, so they can sustain themselves. And these beings, in that case, I mean, in this sense, they don't give a fuck about white people. And that is something I want to clarify, because I obviously, if I'm gonna talk like I did in the last video, and I mean, it's like a lot of white folks, even within the spiritual community, will come like being all butthurt and shit and be like, oh no, we are being oppressed as well. And yeah, I said that, but it's more like indirect suppression. But now, since these inhumane systems like have been implemented all over the world, now it's running itself. Now, I mean, it's not a white thing anymore. It was just like white people was used, and that is for another video maybe, why white people more like white people were being the, I mean, in West Europe, and mainly like Britain and all of that. And but don't get me wrong, I love Brits. Not everyone, of course, but I mean, Brits are some real funny, and I think they're super cool people. But yeah, you ought to stop worshiping that lizard, that queen lizard, lizard bet. Like, okay, I'm sidetracking, but I'm just speaking my, I'm just being a white noise. So yeah, but white people, yeah, these natively oriented beings, they don't give a shit about white people. We've only been their tool, as in like pickaxes, you could say, to harvest what they really want. What do miners care most about? Their pickaxes or the diamonds and gold that they're actually mining? Well, obviously the result, the gold and the diamonds. But they take care of their tools. Yeah, they sharpen their tools. They take well care of them, you know. But they, it's just tools, and that's something that a lot of like, well, black people don't understand. They think it's like it's actually like the white race that is the, well, that is this negative force. But well, we are also part of the human collective, and of course, like it's, I mean, it's all part of the experience. It's like so many bitter black people, and even those that have a lot of like knowledge. But that's the thing, there's a big difference between, well, not a big, because knowledge is necessary for wisdom, but there is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. That's something I see a lot within the black spiritual communities. There's immense knowledge, yet such a lack of wisdom. In large parts of the black spiritual community, at least. Not all, of course. That's never the case. But yeah, but it's a natural reaction. Of course, that's what it's gonna be. Now black people, they realize that they are the, well, chosen people. Yeah, they are, but many who figure that out, they immediately disqualify themselves as chosen individuals. So yeah, but I stand firm in like the fastest way to heal this whole planet, this collective experience, is through the healing of black people properly, you know. But then there's a lot of, I mean, and that's also why I focus here. I'm rather here in Africa, you know. I mean, like black people in the Western world is like they seem to be too traumatized and messed up in some way. And here it's like maybe the opposite. Here is like a lot of people maybe like, not all, but I've been in Africa a few times, and some people really like white people, but that is not for the right reasons. So yeah. Anyway, gonna try to keep. I'm just freely speaking now. Just gotta let it out, expressing, sharing, and hopefully it can do some good. But yeah, yeah, that's all for now. Gonna try to keep these videos below 10 minutes.